Hi everyone, one of the tremendous advantages of the TrueTrace Traveller is of course its portability, and this is a very nice compact set. One of the challenges that anyone who's doing portable clinics will have is storage of wiring, because you can't just sort of keep the wires attached nicely to the box. This is what I do at the moment. Keep everything in the box. So that's what I have at the moment, and it's basically one giant mess. And in between clinics I have to untangle everything. I've tried putting things into plastic sandwich bags to keep them nicely separated, but that all takes time, and it just never really worked for me. So needed to think of a more sustainable long-term solution to this, and this is what I've come up with. Let's have a look at this. So this is made by Boona, and it's a nice compact little thing. Let's take those out. And lots of storage here for different wires and accessories. And let's get this party started. I'm now going to reverse this process and just show you every component within the bag and explain everything that's in it. In the top section, we've got all the individual wires. We've got the two wires that connect the laptop to the base unit. I use ring stimulators for the digits, and for the other nerves and for the muscles I use a bar electrode. I also have two forms of EMG wires depending on where I work. I use different systems. So this is the Technomed one, and this is the Ambu one over there. I also have a temperature probe, the Daymed temperature probe, which is very useful, and I have two different systems here with me for recording the responses from the nerve conduction side of things. I have the one from Daymed over here, like so, which uses small little stick-on stickers, and I have another system as well, which will actually allow a whole variety of other type of electrodes to be plugged into that. So that's very handy. And over here I've put a couple of some replacement felt pads for the bar stimulator. Now, one thing you may have noticed when I was putting it all together was I now wrap up wires as follows. So you take the one end to the other and just pull it back a little bit and then loop it. And the advantage of this is it actually knots less than if you were to simply go like that. And that sort of led me into umpteen knots over the course of time. So although this does look kind of neat to begin with, the reality is when you undo it, it doesn't always come apart easily. And so I personally prefer now to actually sort of loop them like that, and under a sort of natural spring the wires come apart. So that's why I've been doing that. You'll notice that through the rapid sequence. But I mean, this is a much better situation now. I mean, I can just pull these out, plug them in, and I really don't have to worry about them being tangled up. In the main box, so I've got spare batteries. Hardly ever have to change these things. These things really do go literally for months. I don't know how they've managed to do this with Daymed, but the way their power saving is just phenomenal. So I mean, you can really go for quite a long period without and some fairly heavy use as well, without having to recharge them, which is a good thing. I always take with me just some spares in terms of some alcohol wipes, some gauzes and some plasters. You never know when you run out, so it's always good to have some spares with you. That's what I use to put my saline in. It's very easy to clean out as well, and I'll keep the tape measure in there as well. So these are the Technomed needles, and got a whole stash of them in here now. It's very nice, they're nicely protected within here, and these are the Daymed electrodes. I'll just show you these, what they look like. So these will then plug in to the attachments to go into the head box. And what I also do is I keep some pens with me, and I just mark on them their relative positions for G1, G2 and ground. And the advantage of doing this is that, let's move that over here. Is that when you plug these in, not only do you have the visual reminder of the colour over here at the base, but also at the tip as well, so you know exactly which wire is going where, and it just sort of leads to less confusion when you're moving quickly from one test to the next. So that's how I run this system. Obviously you don't need to do that, it's just a little extra fail-safe that I like doing. So that's it with this video. This is an unusual type of unboxing for me, and I'm actually quite impressed at how quickly I was able to just put all this together. I haven't planned this in advance, and I'm sure you could find any type of size that would suit you in your bag and your practice, but this is pretty much a standard kind of electrical accessories wire bag, which I found on Amazon. I'm not even going to really, well, actually, no, I will do. I'll put a link to it below. This is not sponsored in any way, shape or form. No royalties for me from this. And this is just an example bag which you could, I'm sure you could just pick out whichever one that you want. But these electrical accessory bags seem to be actually, it's really nifty, really nice. It's got the right number of pockets and so on for me. Your mileage, of course, may vary for your own practice and for your own equipment, but I think this is a very useful bag to put everything into nicely and neatly at the end of your clinic, and it's really very, very straightforward. So that's how I'm going to be proceeding with my cable management.